Welcome to New Stripe City, a YouTube channel for diehard Bengals fans. I am your host, Ace Boogie, and today I wanted to talk about the Bengals now controlling the number one draft pick. So as of yesterday, the Miami Dolphins ended up winning their first game. They beat the New York Jets. So with that being said, the Bengals are at 0-8. It seems that the Dolphins are now, I believe they've slipped all the way to fourth, according to Tankathon. Of course, there's still things that have to happen, but as of now, the Redskins are in that second pick. The Jets are third, Miami is fourth. You've got Atlanta fifth. So you've got three teams, or it looks like, three teams that are 1-7, one team that's 1-8, and then of course our Bengals at 0-8. So this is what we were hoping for, or at least some of us were hoping for. Some people were like, you shouldn't tank. The thing is, the Bengals aren't even tanking. The season just has not gone their way. And now it could be at a position where they do start to tank and things of that nature. But the reason that I like this is that it almost forces them to have to take Tua. Now, there's some people that like Chase Young. Obviously, Chase Young is a great player. I just don't think that he's what the Bengals need at this moment. I think when you look at around the league and you look at the position, quarterback is definitely what you're looking for right here. You've got Joe Burrow there. This is a great year actually to have that first pick because you've got a lot of options there. You've got Tua, you've got Burrow, you've got Chase Young. You really can't screw this pick up, in my opinion. I think the Bengals will just have to do what they can to make sure that they control their destiny and end up with the pick. Now, there's a monkey wrench that's been thrown in there because Ryan Finley is now the starting quarterback. So if Ryan Finley is able to string off some wins, then that means two things. Number one, the Bengals may have found their quarterback already. Number two, the Bengals may not end up with the first overall pick, and they also may not take a quarterback. So there's a lot of moving parts here, but we'll have to see what happens. But I love the fact that the Bengals now control their own destiny. The Miami Dolphins still have to play the Jets one more time. So there's another chance that they could beat the Jets again. That's really realistic there that could happen. Outside of that, you also have some games that the Bengals have remaining on their schedule that they could potentially win as well. Obviously, the Miami Dolphins game is going to be kind of that Tua Bowl, but you also have the Jets who we play on December 1st. The Browns, I mean, they just lost to the Broncos. I mean, I would love to continue to lose, but the Browns, there's a real chance, I think, that we could possibly beat them. So when you look at the games remaining, the odds for the Bengals have to be somewhat high. Stephen Clark Productions asks, can the Bengals get a second-round linebacker? I would love to see a second-round linebacker. It really depends on what happens. If they do get a quarterback, I think that this is a draft that you have to get some offensive linemen, primarily tackles. This is a draft that's actually deep at the tackle position, which actually works for us. So I think that could happen there. I've always been a fan of trying to take a linebacker early. I think second round would be perfect. Miami has 3 first-round picks, people, so that means that they could potentially offer the Bengals a bounty for that number one pick. I'm not sure if they would do that. If I were in their position, I would try to keep all 3 first-rounders, but there is a chance that if they do miss out on Tua, they may give Duke Tobin and the Bengals a call and say, hey, we want to move up to grab Tua. The Bengals could move back and try to grab Burrow. They could do a Chase Young swap, depending on what kind of picks they get for that number one overall pick. But like I said, if I was a GM for Miami, I would keep all 3 of those picks because that's being that this draft is how it is, guys fall and stuff like that. I would keep those 3 first-round picks. So the Jets game, I think, is a winnable game. You talk about the Dolphins game, that's a winnable game. So that really puts it between us and Miami. You also talk about the Redskins, who they are now starting Dwayne Haskins at the quarterback position. So there's a chance that they could potentially also lose some games, and it's a potential pick that they could also pick a quarterback as well. What's up, Yaper? I've been trying to go more live, like you said, bro. But It's a good time to be a Bengals fan. It's a bad time and a good time. The '90s are back, but the Bengals are in the driver's seat right now for the first overall pick in the draft. So I'm just hoping that there's no drama associated with this. You know, a lot of articles came out. Carson Palmer kind of slammed the Bengals, talking about it's not the ideal location to play for a young quarterback. I think that was on purpose because he knows that the Bengals have a chance of getting a number one pick, and he also was a number one pick for the Bengals before. So I'm hoping that that doesn't reach out to the agents, but honestly, the damage is probably already done. Will they spend coin in free agency or keep the same team and do nothing? That's where I want to see what happens. Free agency. I think that they at least have to make a concerted effort. If you're going to not spend that much in free agency, it needs to be at the offensive tackle position, especially if you're bringing in a young quarterback here. Obviously, Jonah Williams will be back next year. Corey Glenn, I'm not sure they decided to keep him. I'm not sure if they keep him next year or what the plan is with Glenn, but you definitely have to revamp this offensive line if you're bringing in a younger quarterback, especially. And I think that this is the draft to really do it. You've got a lot of quarterbacks in this draft, but it's a top heavy quarterback draft. So there's a chance that, you know, maybe 4 quarterbacks could go in the top 10. You talk about the Broncos, you talk about some other teams that are up there. The Dolphins definitely need a quarterback. You look at a surprise team that could be the Buccaneers with Justin Herbert. They lost yesterday. They're picking 8th overall as of now. So there's a lot of teams that could actually end up picking quarterbacks. So it's good to have that first pick because you get the first choice out of all of them. Hey, what's up, Chris? What's up? What else? They have to spend on linebacker. I agree. Palmer was speaking the truth. I'm not a huge Carson Palmer fan, especially because he's quit on the team, but he did speak a lot of truth. He talked about the fact that he thought that he could change things in Cincinnati, and you know he went and expected Duke and Mike Brown to get guys, and they didn't get them. And they didn't prioritize winning. And I mean, we all are very familiar with that. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll be posting some stuff here today. I'm returning to work, but I just wanted to hop on, say what's up to you guys before I headed to work. But as usual, me and Zim will be coming with the podcast. I may start posting the podcast on audio form first and waiting a couple of days to post it on here just so you guys get there and subscribe and check it out there. But we will be coming out with that episode very shortly. We're getting ready to go ahead and record that soon. But let me know what you guys think in the comments about the Bengals getting the number 1 overall pick. Do you guys want to keep losing to keep it? Do you want to see the Bengals win? What do you guys want to see? I'm pretty excited. This is what I kind of wanted. As a diehard fan, I know that the best thing for the Bengals going forward to get better is to get this number 1 overall pick. We haven't had an all-pro player in the draft in ages. Well, probably not ages, probably since about 2012. So the Bengals need to definitely get a good player that has Pro Bowl and all pro potential in this draft. And I think this number 1 overall pick gets it. All right, guys, I'm out. It's Who Day all day, every day, and especially on Sunday.